This is Top Accolade Global News Update. I am Abiodun Mohammed. Moscow launched a kamikaze drone attack on Monday, hitting key infrastructure in and around Kiev, hours before Russian President Vladimir Putin arrived in Belarus, fueling fears he will pressure his ally to join a new offensive on Ukraine. The Ukrainian Air Force said its air defenses shot down 30 drones in a third Russian air attack on the Ukrainian capital in 6 days, and the latest in a series of assaults since October that have targeted the Ukrainian power grid, causing sweeping blackouts amid sub-freezing temperatures. Officials said at least 3 people were wounded and 9 buildings damaged in the Kiev region. The Ukrainian Atomic Energy Agency accused Russia of sending one of the drones over parts of the South Ukraine nuclear power plant in the Mykolaiv region. There is an absolutely unacceptable violation of nuclear and radiation safety, Energoatom wrote on Telegram. Invading Russian forces currently occupy the Zaporizhia nuclear plant, Europe's largest, near the front line in southeastern Ukraine. Kamikaze drones used in the attacks are cheaply produced disposable unmanned aircraft that fly towards their target before plummeting at velocity and detonating on impact. Under the darkness of night, a fire raged at an energy facility in the often targeted central Chevchenkivsky district, a witness said. The Solomiansky district in the western part of Kiev, a busy transport hub, home to a train station and one of the city's 2 passenger airports, was also hit. Pakistani authorities have opened talks to try to resolve a standoff with attackers holding several security personnel hostage after seizing control of a counter-terrorism facility in the country's northwest. Security forces have surrounded the highly fortified military cantonment that houses the interrogation center in Banu district, where about 20 fighters from Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan (TTP), also known as the Pakistani Taliban, are holed up, reports on Monday said. Banu sits just outside North Waziristan, a tribal-dominated district in Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province that borders Afghanistan. The region has long been a safe haven for TTP fighters. Pakistan has been fighting an armed rebellion by the TTP since 2007 when it emerged. The group associates itself with Afghanistan's Taliban and is fighting for the enforcement of their strict interpretation of Islamic law in the country, the release of their members who are in government custody, and the reduction of Pakistani military presence in the country's former tribal regions. There has been a surge in attacks on security forces since the TTP pulled out of peace talks with Islamabad last month. Countries have reached a landmark agreement at a Marathon United Nations Biodiversity Summit to protect the world's land and oceans and provide critical financing to save biodiversity in the developing world, despite objections from some African countries. The chair of the COP15 Nature Summit, Chinese Environment Minister Wang Rongqi, declared the deal adopted at a plenary session in Montreal on Monday and struck his gavel, sparking loud applause from assembled delegates. The most significant part of the deal is a commitment to protect 30% of land and water considered important for biodiversity by 2030. Currently, 17% of terrestrial and 10% of marine areas are protected. A representative from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, earlier objected to the text, raising concerns about developed nations' responsibility for funding conservation in developing countries. The parties which are developed nations should provide resources to parties which are developing, the DRC's representative said through a translator. The representative from Cameroon said via a translator, "What we saw was a force of hand." The draft also calls for raising $200 billion by 2030 for biodiversity from a range of sources and working to phase out or reform subsidies that could provide another $500 billion for nature. Twitter users voted in a poll for Elon Musk to step down as chief executive of the social media platform in a backlash against the billionaire less than 2 months after he took over. About 57.5% votes were for yes, while 42.5% were against the idea of Musk stepping down as the head of Twitter. According to the poll the billionaire launched on Sunday evening, over 17.5 million people voted. Musk said on Sunday he would abide by the results of the poll, but did not give details on when he would step down if results said he should. Shares of Tesla, the electric car maker Musk heads, were up about 3% at $154.70 in pre-market trading. The poll is the latest twist in Musk's chaotic reign as Twitter CEO since October, which includes rapid firings of top management and thousands of employees seesawing on how much to charge for Twitter's subscription service Twitter Blue and restating banned accounts, including that of former US President Donald Trump. That is the size of top accolade global news update. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy New Week!